So, it finally dropped. After months of silence, dodging questions, and pretending it didn't exist, Disney just pulled the trigger. The Ironheart trailer is here, and it's worse than we feared. This isn't just another misstep, it's a full-blown, slow-motion train wreck you can't look away from. And what's wild? Nobody's surprised. Not the fans, not the critics, and definitely not the people who've been warning Disney for years about this exact moment. But let's talk about what really happened here, because what went down wasn't just a bad trailer drop, it was a public execution. Within minutes of the trailer going live, the internet reacted. And when I say reacted, I mean torched it. We're talking hundreds of thousands of dislikes, brutal memes, comments roasting it from Orbitan, even loyal Marvel fans are throwing in the towel. And that's the part that should really scare Disney. Because when your own base the ones still clinging to hope that Marvel can turn this ship around when even they are dragging your new project through the mud, that's not just failure. That's a sign something is deeply broken. And behind the scenes, you can feel the panic. Bob Iger, probably staring at stock charts like they're horror movies. Kevin Feige, likely ducking behind PR teams like it's Endgame all over again, but this time, the snap didn't fix anything. Somewhere in a high-rise Zoom meeting, Disney's top brass are sipping oat milk lattes and asking themselves the same terrifying question we are. How did this happen? Because make no mistake, this wasn't just a filler project. No, this was the future. Riri Williams, aka Ironheart, was supposed to be the next Iron Man, the heir to Tony Stark's throne. That's the story they were selling us. The headline, the legacy. This was their golden child. And now, it's circling the drain faster than they can say recast. But here's the thing, this disaster didn't start with the trailer. Oh no, this was years in the making. This is just the latest chapter in Disney's slow motion collapse into what can only be described as brand suicide. So how did we get here? Let's rewind, because the origin of this mess might explain everything. Let's go back for a moment to where this mess really started unraveling. Riri Williams didn't just pop up out of nowhere. No, Disney planted the seeds in Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, and from the moment she stepped on screen, you could feel it. This wasn't just a cameo. This was the setup. But here's the kicker, her debut was one of the strangest creative decisions Marvel has ever made, and I mean ever. Remember that suit? The one that looked like it was cobbled together out of plastic scraps from a daycare arts and crafts table. A weird hybrid of Power Ranger cosplay, rejected Lego armor, and something you'd see in a Play-Doh commercial? That's what they were banking on. That's what was supposed to carry Iron Man's legacy forward. Let that sink in. Now look, I get it. There are fans who genuinely enjoy Riri Williams in the comics, and that's completely fine. Everyone's allowed their favorites. But let's not pretend this was ever some kind of fan-driven movement. There weren't Reddit threads begging for Riri, there weren't viral hashtags or online petitions. This wasn't Spider-Man in Civil War or Deadpool's leaked test footage moment. This was a boardroom fantasy. A spreadsheet hero designed by executives who thought they could bottle lightning in a diversity checklist. No story, no character depth, no genuine hype. Just a calculated attempt to say, see, we're inclusive now, please clap. And the trailer, it doesn't even try to hide it. There's no illusion that this is about inspiring heroes or bold storytelling. It's a corporate mission statement dressed up in CGI and catchphrases. The message is loud and clear. This isn't about story, it's about the statement. And God help you if you question it. Because if you're not 100% on board with the message, you're not just a critic anymore. You're now an enemy of the Disney brand. Still think I'm exaggerating? Well, Bob Iger would like a word. Yes, the CEO of Disney himself had to step in. That's how bad the backlash is. That's how loud the fan reaction became. It forced the most powerful man at Disney to break his silence and issue a statement. And you know what it sounded like? Not damage control, not clarification. It sounded like a campaign speech, like he was running for office and Ironheart was his platform. But what exactly did he say? And more importantly, why are fans calling it the final nail in the MCU coffin? Let's break it down. Alright, buckle up, because this is where things go from bad to unbelievable. Here's the actual quote from Bob Iger, and no, I'm not making this up. We are proud to introduce a brand new character that is meant to succeed Iron Man / Tony Stark in ways our fans will never imagine. Oh, don't worry, Bob, we can't imagine it. Not because it's groundbreaking, because it's completely unrecognizable. Tony Stark, the man who launched the MCU, who bled, built, and sacrificed, was introduced in a cave with shrapnel in his chest and sheer genius in his hands. He was gritty, flawed, compelling, charismatic. And now, we're supposed to believe that his successor is someone dumpster diving for scraps and giving TED Talks on systemic injustice? This is the next Iron Man? That's the headline Disney wants us to cheer for? And it gets worse. Bob Iger continues, saying, "To those that are opposed to our support for the importance of DEI and calling this any kind of an agenda, we urge everyone to let this product of ours speak for itself." Spoiler alert, Bobit did. And the audience, they replied with a thunderous, unapologetic number. From the moment that trailer hit the internet, it was like watching a digital riot unfold in real time. Dislikes skyrocketed, comment sections turned into roast battles, memes dropped within minutes. And yet, instead of listening, instead of pausing, instead of course correcting, Bob doubled down. He didn't call Ironheart a show. He called it a statement, a rebranding of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Let that sit for a second. Not storytelling, not heroes, not arcs, just branding, just messaging. This is the new MCU, where heroes aren't chosen for their journeys, their growth, or their connection with the audience. They're chosen based on how many identity checkboxes they can tick off before the title card even shows up. And the most terrifying part? They think this is working. You'd think, after the Acolyte turned into a fandom civil war, after the Marvels bombed harder than a failed NASA launch, after She-Hulk became a meme cemetery, they'd maybe, just maybe, stop and listen. They'd ask, why are people tuning out? They'd realize that maybe, just maybe, it's not because fans hate diversity, it's because they hate being preached at. They hate when a story stops being a story and starts sounding like a college lecture. They hate being told they're bad fans for asking, hey, where's the fun? But instead of backing off, Disney isn't just doubling down, they're tripling down. Ironheart isn't a side project anymore. It's their flagship series, the main event, a 6-episode miniseries, launching with not 1, not 2, but 3 episodes right out of the gate. And you know what that screams? Desperation. So why the 3-episode drop? Is it a confidence play or a last-ditch attempt to keep viewers from jumping ship? And what exactly does Ironheart have to offer that makes it worthy of headlining the MCU's next chapter? Stick around, because what's coming next is where things get really wild. You don't drop half your series on day 1 unless you're trying to smother the fire before it spreads. Let's be real, when you unleash 3 episodes at once, it's not a gift. It's a distraction tactic. It's a please don't look too closely maneuver. And speaking of red flags, Alden Ehrenreich. Yes, the guy who played young Han Solo in that other Star Wars flop is now somehow in Ironheart. And look, nothing personal. Seriously, he's not a bad actor. But when your biggest name draw is a guy most fans associate with one of the most forgettable, unwanted Star Wars spin-offs of all time, that's not a flex. That's a cry for help. Especially when audiences can't even see him on screen now without involuntarily flashing back to that Solo movie nobody asked for. It's distracting. It's awkward. It screams we ran out of options. And the chaos doesn't stop there. Behind the scenes, a production nightmare. Delays. Reshoots, rewrites, script changes, more reshoots. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if they tried editing it with AI and a magic 8-ball. This show was supposed to drop last year, and yet no trailer, no hype, just silence for 8 months. 8 months. That's not stealth marketing. That's damage control. That's, let's quietly shove this down the release calendar and hope the internet forgets. But now they've decided to face the music with Bob Iger himself standing tall, arms spread, grinning like he's unveiling the next Avengers movie. He calls it the future, the new era, the bold vision. And if we, the fans, aren't excited, well, we're the problem. Sound familiar? It should. Because we've been here before. This is the Acolyte playbook, word for word. Remember that disaster? A show with 0 fan interest? A laundry list of grievances against the fan base, and a marketing strategy built around guilt trips and identity politics? Yeah, that didn't work. Neither did the Marvels. Neither did She-Hulk. So why do they think it's going to work with Ironheart? It won't. Because here's the cold, hard truth. You can't force people to love something. You can't bully them into engagement. You can't guilt trip your way into popularity. You can't bury Tony Stark, one of the most beloved characters in cinema history, and expect fans to rally behind his successor just because she passed a corporate diversity checklist. That's not how storytelling works. People want heroes, not lectures. They want journeys, not checkboxes. They want sincerity, not slogans. They don't want politics and capes. They want characters worth caring about. And if Disney can't figure that out, then maybe they're the ones who need replacing. They want stories. They want heroes. They want stakes, sacrifice, and something real to believe in. Not lectures. Not empty branding. Not corporate mouthpieces dressed up as role models. And nothing about this trailer makes anyone care. In fact, if I had to bet, this is going to be worse than the Marvels. Worse than the Acolyte. We are staring down the barrel of historic lows. Engagement? Gone. Viewership? Dead on arrival. Rotten Tomatoes scores? You're gonna need a microscope to find them. This isn't the future of Marvel. This is the end of it. And the most tragic part? It didn't have to be this way. But Disney made their choice. They chose message over magic, politics over plot, preaching over passion. And now, they're going to pay the price. At the box office, in the fandom, and in their legacy. So if you're wondering whether Ironheart will be the worst thing Marvel has ever produced, you won't have to wait much longer. The answer is coming in June, and it's not going to be subtle. It's going to be loud, it's going to be brutal, and it's going to echo across the industry. So let's hear it. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Are you even planning to watch Ironheart? Do you think this is the final nail in the MCU coffin? Or are you just here for the memes and the chaos? Either way, make sure to like this video if you're tired of what Marvel has become. Subscribe if you want honest breakdowns without the corporate sugarcoating. And share this with someone who still thinks the MCU can be saved. Thanks for watching, see you in the next one, and buckle up because Marvel's fall is just getting started.